Hello, welcome to Cars with Ben, and in today's video I'm going to talk to you about 5 things I'd like to see in Forza Horizon 5 and a kind of wish list really of what I'd like to expect when playing the game. Now I did do a trailer analysis last week and that was all very fun, but I want to go a bit more deep diving into this. So if you are new here, I am Cars with Ben and I make weekly car content. So let's jump straight into Forza Horizon 5. So firstly, I want to talk about customization. I think that's the number one here. For me, I'd like to see a lot of customization in deep depth levels. Now, I know that we've seen it talked about many times, and there has been customization, but when you look back at sort of Forza Horizon 4 and Forza Horizon 3, as well as Gran Turismo even, there just hasn't been enough customization for me that is so in-depth. You know, if we look back at the Need for Speeds of the era about 10 years ago, and, you know, Carbon, Underground, that was seriously in-depth. So I'm talking about body kits, wide rims, scoops, all of the stuff that you would expect to see in a 2005 game where everything was so in-depth and changeable. Now, it's a huge part of the car culture, and I think it's so important to be able to include that in a game such as Forza, where things could be changing. You know, there are rumours that we could be going to Japan in the next game, and I'm super excited for that as well. So, you know, that would be my number one. Coming in at number 2 is definitely next level tuning. Now, I know that Forza have been really good in the past at being able to tune your car in certain dynamics, and, you know, whether that's ABS, traction control, and even just very fine-tuned setup. But I'd really like to see one which impacts a lot of the way the car drives. So, for example, could we have cruise control? Could we have sort of autonomous driving in the game for certain cars, maybe the electric cars? That would be really, really cool to see. And as things develop, I think that's going to be the way that maybe games go, and we're seeing it in the car industry now. I have to say, I just really want to come in here and say I love that artwork. It's going to be a massive thing in the game, and I can't wait to sort of go and explore, you know, in all these types of cars, and I think it's going to be awesome. So coming into my third point for the game is off-roading. I really, really like to see a lot more focus on off-roading. Now, I know that the cars have been in the game quite a lot of Forza, and they have been used, you know, in so the F-150, we've seen the Bronco, there's now a Defender that's going to be placed into the game for the first time. But what I would really like to see is more focus on those off-roads. You know, we've seen focus on sports cars and supercars, but I'd really like to see a lot more of those challenges. So, for example, I have been playing a lot of SnowRunner. And if you have ever played SnowRunner, you'll know that there is a huge amount of emphasis on the way the tyres move and all the modifications. I'd like to see that a bit more in something like Forza. If you look back at games such as Motocross, when it came out on PS3, there was a real ability to only be able to use off-road vehicles in certain areas. So big trucks would be in muddy areas, and bikes might be higher up in the grasslands, and that is the sort of thing I mean when I'm looking at off-road. For my number 4, it is cities, the in-depth and difference in all the cities that we get to drive to in the game. I really wanted to include this one because different city feels is so important to me. Now, we've seen in the game there's different cities, there's a very Spanish, Mexican look of the main area and city, but I would really like to see a difference in each town that we go to. So what I mean by that is I would like to see changes from each place to what, you know, another. If you played old games in the past like Test Drive Unlimited, and if you've ever played even open world games in the past, Forza Horizons and the very first one, the cities and towns looked identical, and what I like is a different change throughout the cities and towns. That would be awesome, and something that I think should be implemented into a new game, giving each city a personality of its own. And finally, guys, audio. I want to talk about audio. My 5th wish list is the better audio. We know that Forza Horizon team and Playground Games have been developing audio, and they've hired a brand new team to create a more authentic soundtrack. This kind of goes with customization in a way, and I'd like to see that included into the game where it makes the changes even nicer. So, for example, if you mod a Lamborghini, will that still sound like a Lamborghini? Will it sound a bit droney? Will it make a serious impact on the audio? And I'd really like to see major changes and steps in the way the audio is done for each car. I would like it to be crisp and awesome for that reason. Anyway, guys, that has been my 5 things of the wish list. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I can't wait to play Forza when it drops. I will continue to do more car content in that time, and hopefully you've enjoyed this, so I will see you then. Peace.